Hello everybody, welcome back. I wasn't going to make a video, but I thought I might as well because I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a lot of people wanting to know what the hell's going on right now. So first of all, with Bitcoin, we've been waiting for this target to be met. If you watch my channel, you'll recognise this messy little chart that I've got going here. We've got this descending trend, we've been rejected from it every single time, and we've got this bottom level of support here which has been tested before but had a really nice bounce from it before, rejected from the descending trend a few times, and now we've hit rock bottom again. But unfortunately on this occasion we've not found any bounce at all, and in fact it looks like it's really trying to push beneath it and break down from it, which is concerning in a way, but not the end of the world, because when we zoom out a little bit further, I do have a contingency plan, which is this second little area, this second descending triangle formation that we've got, with an all-time low area which is just at the tip of 4,000, we call it 4,900. That is where I would expect us to bottom out. I don't think that we're very likely to touch that area, but we could, and I did intend on buying my Bitcoin back at this level and perhaps going long, but because we're failing to find any kind of bounce at this point now, I'm a little bit suspicious and I'm just going to hold off. I'm happy to wait this one out because it's not looking very nice right now. When we go down onto the smaller time frames, we'll go on a 15-minute chart. Not that I would normally do a 15-minute chart, but what we see when we do the 15-minute chart is that instead of having a violent trend all the way down into the 6,600 area, which is what I wanted to see, we had incremental steps down which weren't that big. I mean, they were big for Bitcoin, a few $100s at a time, but they took place, slower. And because of that, I think we're likely to go down more and break down beneath that 6,600 area. It's just a theory, but that's the way I'm seeing it right now, is that we're not having that violent collapse, which is what Bitcoin would usually bounce from. So if we level out at this level now, that 6,600 level, we might find our way back up to at least the top of the descending trend, which as of tomorrow's price will be only 7,100 before a rejection. Could break out of there, definitely could, but the moving averages don't look like it wants to do that. This looks like it's, to be honest with you, it's not consolidation anymore really. We're very close to actually being completely in a bear trend. In fact, I mean, since I have a death cross on our daily, effectively we are in a bear trend. That death cross took place at this price action here, around about 7,900. Sorry, 7,400 we could call it, or you could say it was 7,160. Either way, coming down from that level, let's be generous and we'll measure it from the bottom of that wick. We've only come down 8%, which isn't much. I would want to see between 15 to 35% retrace from that level after a death cross. Now, there's no textbook answer to that, but that's generally what you'd expect. And considering there's not been anything positive going on with Bitcoin at all, and we're stuck beneath this trend, I think if we break down beneath 6,600 and close beneath it, we're definitely going to be coming down into the 5,000s. But again, this is a way off. It's all about meeting targets. Now, target number one has been met. We've been watching this channel. I'm sure those who watch this channel know that this has been a significant sort of area for me, but at the moment I'm not very pleased with it. Even though it's a good opportunity to buy things back, there is another opportunity across the way. If we have the balls to stay in tether or whatever, or if you're margin trading, just like I say, if you've got those balls, there's possibly a $1,500 to maybe even a $2,000 drop ahead of us. Still, I know that sounds ridiculous, but that is possible. It's definitely possible. It's not very likely, but it's possible. So, what does this mean for the rest of the market? Well, I mean, I've got Matic up here because we like to follow Matic on here. Matic is now just broken down beneath this little wick here, which is what it was holding on to for quite a little while this drop was taking place. Now, alts are a bit of a precursor for me for the health of the market. Now, alts are really, really suffering hard now. Most of them, even the top cap coins like XRP and Ethereum, are falling at twice the rate that Bitcoin is, and they're top cap coins. So if they're falling at twice the rate, I think that Bitcoin is likely to come down. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I still think that that's a little taster of what's going to happen with Bitcoin. I think those guys, when they lose value like that in that respect, then Bitcoin will follow on as well. I know that Bitcoin's the leader, but we're talking money here. We're talking about a lot of money that's invested into these coins. Is all coming out of it right now. It's all leaving the market, and it's either going into Tether, but it's definitely not going to go into Bitcoin. And I think it's only a matter of time before people take it out of Bitcoin too, and that's going to bring it down quite dramatically. So back onto Matic. So we've broken down beneath this little wick here, so we're effectively making a going to test down new support levels. You could try and convince me if you like that this area here might be a support level, which is where that wick was, where we fell down. Was it 75% or so on that day? I don't think that's going to class. I don't think that's going to count for anything. I think what we're doing now is we're making our way down to the 1 cent level, where we did have some tangible support levels. We had it here, where we had it quite a few times here. So I think that 1 cent level is incoming, and it's coming quite soon. But if that breaks down, we are going to be very, 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 very nasty at that point, because we've got only, I'd probably say this level here of around about 0.9 would be a support. If that breaks down, we're going to come down to this level here, which would be ½ cent, and that's completely plausible given the state that the market is being drained, and which is exactly what's happening right now. The market is being drained, absolutely drained of its money. Without the money, there's no value in these coins, and it's going to be like a snowball effect. It's just going to be the whole thing's going to fall in on itself. And when people twig that this is what's happening, and they want to get their money out of Bitcoin quick, sharp, and perhaps maybe buy it back at a later date, you're going to see a huge cascading effect. So we'll go back in time a little bit on Bitcoin, and I'll just show you something relatively interesting. We'll just wait for those to load up. Okay, so this is our price action as it is right now, 6,600. So if we go back in time, we'll have a look at what that price action actually meant. So what we saw here is we saw this huge collapse down when we broke down significantly from the parabolic top. And where did we end up having a decent bounce from? It was more or less 6,600. So there's a good reason why we're bouncing from there. It's not just for no reason. We bounced from there. We had a really nice bounce, but this is what you'd expect after a parabolic top, collapsing in on itself, but actually finding really decent bounces. Now we're not going to be bouncing like that anytime soon. I'm pretty sure we're not going to be doing that. So anyway, we had that first bounce, but then we came back down to test again the 6,600. What happened here? We tested it a few times and we bounced, and then what happened is we ended up falling down beneath it. On this day we touched it, but then we broke down beneath it. First time we broke down beneath it in the 3 or 4, no, not 3 or 4, we could class that as a 1 and a 2, perhaps 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times that we touched that 6,600. So it's a tangible support historically. We broke down beneath it for the first time, and we only came down to this level here, which was 5,900. No big deal. We found our way above it, and then as soon as we got above it, we launched again, and then came back down, because it became apparent to most people at this point that it was a bear market, and that 6,600 was offering levels of support and opportunities to buy back and find a bit of a bounce. We were at this point now trending beneath the 200 exponential moving average, which is a bit of a big deal. We broke down beneath it, and we kept on basically breaking down beneath 6,600. The last opportunities was here, where we were trying to break above it, and then we just gave up and we collapsed big time. This, from top to bottom, this wick all the way down to the Bitcoin bottom, there's a 50% retrace. So bear that in mind, guys, because what we're doing now is we're testing this level again. We're testing it once here, testing it again here. We have a sharp descending trend, a lot sharper than the one we were in 2018, a lot sharper than that. So this is going to be pushing us down even further. If we do bounce from here, this trend is coming down so significantly, it's almost about $75 a day descending trend. So if we bounce from here, we come up to this level, 7,100. We do it the next day, 7,000. Do it a few days later, 6,900. You get where I'm coming from. Now this is good in a way, because if we do keep bouncing from it here, there's an opportunity that we will break out, and when we break out of this descending trend, we are effectively going bullish. But there's nothing bullish about this chart. When we have a death cross here, we have moving averages all facing down. We do have a itchy cloud cross on the weekly, which took place about a month ago, or maybe 6 weeks ago. That basically wants continuation of the move down. We're underneath the cloud on the daily. There's nothing underneath us. There's no moving averages beneath us of any significance. All the major ones are above us, and they're even curving down. Even the 200 exponential is curving down, which is not good. In fact, even the 200 simple is curving down, which is pretty bad. So it looks to me like it wants to break down from here. Now, if we go back in time and see what happened, like I say, we bounced on it several times, and then eventually we got stuck beneath it. And then what happened is that we collapsed from it. No, I'm not going to say this is going to happen again. That's not really what I'm saying. I'm saying that historically 6,600 is an important number because we were stuck around there before, but when we finally decided that we couldn't take our way above it, and we're still above it at the moment, but if we get down beneath it and it becomes a resistance, then it's time to really start to get worried. And then the longer that this goes on, the longer that this descending trend has to bring us all the way down. And like I say, it's more or less about $75 a day. That's how steep it is, this descending trend. By the time we get to the bottom of this, where I consider the bottom for Bitcoin to be, that's gonna be what, early February, and you better hope that we break out of it from here, because if we don't, we're going to be double. Well, it won't be a double bottom; it'll be a new year, but we will be coming down to this little pit. I don't think that's where we're going to end up, but it is possible if we don't break out from this level here. Breaking down from it and getting amongst this level is okay, but this final bottom level here, where I consider it to be the actual Bitcoin bottom, if this fails, then yeah, we will come down to this level, and there's nothing to say that we won't make a new low, because effectively, if this is a bull market, which doesn't appear like it is anymore, we've made a lower high on the bull market, and it's a failed cycle at that point, which would mean that actually the bottom could be lower than our actual bottom. Now that's a very, very bearish situation to be in. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's definitely something you've got to bear in mind. And with the rest of the market, there will be those coins will be not worthless, but they will be suffering, and some of those coins will effectively be, they'll be broken forever. They will never recover. They will just never recover. You'll have coins that are all down at a single sat, that basically no one will want to trade when it comes to a single sat. They will just be worthless, absolutely worthless. So, like I say, 6,600. Here we are again. I remember you from last time, and it's in a way good to see you again, but in many ways it's a little bit worrying. So I'll leave this video with you there. Like I say, it's a little bit of something to think about, and let's try and be a little bit more. Let's try and not let history repeat itself. Let's try and be clever about what we do with our actual money, because we could be seeing our money halving if you decide to buy it back here. But I'm not a financial advisor, so it's not financial advice. Do what you will with your money. It's not for me to tell you anything. That's not my intention. I'm just pointing out something to you that you may have missed, or you may remember, that it's worth remembering again. This level is a significant level. This price that we're at right now is historically one of the most important levels in Bitcoin history, of recent history, that would be anyway. And I didn't think we'd get here again, to be honest with you, after seeing such a positive start to the year. I didn't think we'd see it, but now that I've seen it, it's bringing back bad memories. Anyway, we'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice day, nice evening, and take it easy.